Hey! Guys, welcome back to the main event. I'm Daniel. And yeah, today we're going back to WWF. Well, we were at WWF, yeah. We ended the year with No Holds Barred. But we're still in WWF, but it's a new decade. That's right, so let's get into it. We're going back to the Royal Rumble 1990. The date was January 21st, 1990. Orlando, Florida, at the Orlando Arena in front of 16,000 fans. And the main event, well, the main event was the Royal Rumble. Every man for himself. Oh yeah. So let's jump into this. There now, this, honestly, one of my favorites. Like, this would be, now once again, you gotta realize I'm 31. So, you know, to me, my golden era is like the late 80s, early 90s. Early to mid 90s is probably where I consider my golden era. Don't get me wrong, I was in junior high when the Attitude Era, was in full swing. And I love the Attitude Era, I'm a big fan. But to me, just, I don't know. Because to me, that's more the sports entertainment aspect. Even though there were some excellent matches, to me, my heart always goes back to this golden age. Like, pre-New Generation, yeah, as far as the Rumbles go, starting with this one, this one and the next two are like my top three favorite Rumbles. Because that was back when the Rumble was a Rumble. Back when it really was like, every 2 minutes a new guy would come out, you'd wrestle for 2 minutes, and then you'd bring another person out. Like now, just like every 10 seconds we just throw them out. It's like a video game now. It literally is like a video game. Now we just throw them out there every 10 seconds. Like, fuck it. A Rumble will literally last like 25 minutes nowadays, so I don't know. So, anyways, let's be quit bitching about the product. Let me get back into this review. Not much setup in this, in all honesty. It seemed like, whatever feuds were going on just kind of went into this. What I love about the Rumble, you still have this today, but I just always love the blend of main event guys and mid-card guys. And even like, you had a good, handful of tag wrestlers as well. So I always liked that aspect of it. Just always like to see this healthy mix of everybody, because it's the one time a year where if you are a mid card guy or even a tag wrestler who would normally not be in the main event, this is your one time a year to be in the main event. I don't know, something special about that. All right, so let's dive right in. Starts off with the guy who drew number 30 last year. Drawing number 1 this year, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, and I love it. He goes out there, of course, dude, you don't expect much out of him. You really don't. Everybody kind of writes him off early on. His first opponent is Koko Ware. And they wrestle for a bit, and then eventually he ducks and backbody drops him over, and Koko's out. And dude, I just love because $1 Million Man turns around, looks at the crowd, and he's like, 1 down. 1 down, 29 to go. So then, yeah, that was that one. And then out comes Marty Jannetty. Beats him up, same thing. He ducks a crossbody, and out goes Jannetty. And then he looks at the crowd, he's like, 2 down. And of course, this is brilliant, because this is what, whenever I play the Royal Rumble, the video game, I'm number 1. I just try to get him out as quickly as I fucking can. Like, just take him out one at a time. However, he comes across Jake the Snake, and guess what? Not that easy. And then that's when the Rumble starts piling up on him and gets a little too much. This Rumble, to me, it had tons of greats. You had Dusty Rhodes, Macho King, I already mentioned Jake Snake and DiBiase. You had Piper in there, Andre the Giant, Bret Hart. And I didn't realize this was actually Bret Hart's main event debut. In fact, Jim Neidhart was in the Survivor Series main event. Got ahead of him there. It's all right. Hart goes a little further, so it's all right. But no, this one had, you had Power of the Pain, Demolition, you had the Colossal Connection, which was Andre and Haku. It was you had an awesome mix of guys in there. Shawn Michaels, who doesn't last long, I thought was kind of funny, but yeah, he's in this one. To me, I guess some of the big highlights was obviously Piper gets thrown out, and then Bad News Brown gets thrown out, and he ends up grabbing Piper and pulling him out as well, and they end up brawling to the back. Earthquake comes in, dominates for a bit, and then literally they all gang up on him. Like, it takes like five people, I think, to dump him out, but he made a big impact in the Rumble, but then was shortly eliminated, which you're kind of like, what the fuck? Dino Bravo Doing good in this one, actually. And then, of course, Ted DiBiase sets the... and that's what I love about this Rumble and the next two is that, each one... I think it goes further. I think it keep going, too. But, these three in particular, you end up getting, some really good Ironmen in this thing. And this one's Ted DiBiase. He goes, 30-plus minutes. I want to say he's up to the 40s, even. But he's in there for a long while. Eventually, he's eliminated by the Ultimate Warrior. Ultimate Warrior comes in, kicks ass. Does pretty good, too. I want to say Warrior comes in around 20, 21, I think. I don't remember the exact number they said he was, but he comes in, House of Fire, and then he stays in there for a bit. I don't know. There's a lot of naysayers against the Warrior. I don't quite get it. I mean, I do, but I don't. From what I've been seeing these past few matches, he's been doing pretty good. Now, he's been protected, obviously, because the first main event he was part of was the Survivor Series. Of course, you can tag out and shit like that. Here, it's a Rumble. You don't have to do a lot of fancy moves. It's just clobbering and trying to dump people out. So, but he looked good in it. He looked good. The coolest thing about this one was, Hogan comes out, 25, really good number. And they're just kicking ass. They're cleaning house. That's when Michaels comes out during this melee and it instantly just tossed out, which I thought was crazy. But it comes down to Hogan and Warrior. We get that epic showdown. And I remember even as a kid knowing, it was electric. You literally could see electricity come, like Monsoon would say, you can cut it with a knife. I mean, it really was. Just that moment where Hogan and Warrior stand there. Because the thing is, at this point, kayfabe or not, Warrior is a rising star. Literally, he's taken every challenge that's come to him and he keeps going up. He's the IC champion and he's not slowing down. He just keeps going up. And Hogan, on top of the mountain, sees this guy coming, knows. And that's the thing, in the promos, they literally call each other out. Warrior even says, there's 28 guys that he's going to take out because there's one guy out there in particular who marches to his own, drum. Which I'm not going to lie, I'm saying it more elegantly than he put it. But still, the point was, Hogan's going to be the main threat, but he's going to realize that he's just like everybody else. He's going to conquer him and, and Hogan said anything to him, he calls him out as well. So we finally get it. Hogan, Warrior, and of course they end up jumping into each other, and of course, shoulder blocking each other. Of course, no man budges. And then do this crazy crisscross thing, and then boom, double clothesline. Now, I always thought the double clothesline was kind of funny because Warrior, who was in there for fucking, he's been there for a while, at least 10 minutes. If he came in 20, he's there for at least 10 minutes, if not longer. And then Hogan, who's fairly fresh, but the clothesline equally kills both of them, which makes Hogan look weaker, in my opinion. Because, Warrior, he takes that massive clothesline from Hogan, sure, it takes him down or whatever. But it's Hogan, you were literally... You're fresh. You literally just came out 2 numbers ago. And this clothesline just fucking destroyed him. He just oh, fuck. So anyway, but it's a cool moment. And they literally clothesline each other and they're just knocked the fuck out. And then I think it's the Warlord comes in. I think it's Warlord comes in and starts stomping away on both of them. Which I thought was kind of neat because it's Warlord literally got the Raw end of the deal last time. Comes in, gets dumped out instantly. Or clotheslined out instantly. Here... has his pickings, if you will. Another thing about this one is you had all the managers that were allowed to stay out there this time. Last time you couldn't have managers out there at all, with the exception of Virgil, because I guess apparently bodyguard's okay. But here you had a bunch of managers that were allowed to stay outside during this whole thing, which is kind of neat because even when their guys are gone, they can still wait down there oh, got another guy coming, here it comes. So actually it's really cool. So you get, I think Rick Rude comes out at one point. Comes out earlier, and but goes after Warrior and everything. And they have they have Warrior up and over, and Hogan comes and clobbers them both. And of course Warrior drops to the outside. And of course Monsoon's I don't think Hogan realized that Warrior was there. And I'm like, bullshit. He totally had to have known because the ring isn't that big. And Hogan gets up and he sees everybody there. He didn't. His vision was right here, but he could see this. He didn't see anybody else anywhere else. He knew they were all there. So if to play off the whole he didn't mean to knock the fuck. I mean, it's everything for himself, so it don't matter. It shouldn't matter, but whatever. He runs over there and clobbers him, and Warrior drops to the outside. He comes back in, whoops some ass, and then he runs out like an insane madman. Get that going. The final participant in this Rumble was Mr. Perfect, drawing the perfect number, if you will. And so he comes on out there as well. So the final 4, it comes down to the Hawkster, the Mighty Hercules, Mr. Perfect, and Ravishing Rick Rude. Hercules, I think Hercules was in the Final Four last time too, wasn't he? I can't quite remember, but either way, I don't know, because it's just like he never went above mid-Carter, like ever. But he's in main event a few times. Like he was at this, Survivor Series '88. He main evented last year's Rumble, this year's Rumble. So I mean. And he does good. Like he's good. Just I don't know. We kind of feel bad. Like I just know he's not going any further than this. But he's battling next to Hogan. Like literally, him and Hogan exchange like a high five or whatever, and they go back and kick some ass. However, it's too much for him. They eventually get Hogan down, and they end up dumping Hercules out. And then of course you got Rude and Perfect beating up on Hogan. And I love this part too because Hogan hawks up and beats the shit out of both of them. Knocks Mr. Perfect over the rope. Of course, he hangs onto the apron. And then Hogan throws Rude into the rope. And Heenan, they play it off like he's trying to get up. But it's like he's pulling the rope down. And dude, Rude just right over it. And of course, Heenan's just like, oh, sorry. And Hogan snatches him, pulls him in. And I just remember as a kid thinking, like, dude, like that was not an accident. Like, you did that shit on purpose. Admit it. Just fess up. But, then it comes down to Hogan and Perfect. And, of course, Hogan just demolishes Perfect and tosses his ass out. So, that was the Rumble. Hogan wins. Big Hogan celebration in the night. And we are done. So, let's talk about some Fallout, shall we? A lot of this was building up to WrestleMania 6, as it usually does. Let's obviously talk about Hogan and Ware. After that epic showdown, after that epic fucking showdown, they knew that, you know what, we can't hold off any longer. We got to do it. And they ended up dealing at each other in a title versus title match. Hogan's world title against Ware's Intercontinental title. And, had that coming up. We'll talk about that a little later. But the build-up that was, they did their own thing there. Hogan would actually defend the title a couple times between the Rumble and WrestleMania. He had defended against Mr. Perfect, and he defended against Macho King, Randy Savage. And I think that was like their last match, because they had was it Buster Douglas? Is that who it was? A boxer? Buster Douglas? But it was their last match in WWF, Hogan and Savage. But it ends with, Hogan wins, but, he pins him, but then, of course, when Savage gets in Buster Douglas' face, Douglas knocks him out, and that was that. And then, of course, Warrior was actually feuding with his Intercontinental title against Dino Bravo. And, of course, Dino always had an Earthquake in his corner. Well, then Hogan would always come out and, try to even it up a little bit. So, you also had a Colossal Connection, had a really good run after this, even though, Andre's health was down, so it was mainly Haku, and then Andre would come in and finish it off. But, I want to say they had title defenses against Demolition, Hart Foundation, and the Rockers that entire stretch there. Then they gave Demolition yet another rematch at WrestleMania 6, and Demolition would win it. So, DiBiase would end up going up against Jake the Snake at WrestleMania 6. And this was actually leading to Big Boss Man's face turn, because he tries to he hires Slick to use Big Boss Man against Jake the Snake, and of course Boss Man doesn't have any of that shit and turned face. So wasn't going to help him. Was not going to help him. And of course I mentioned that Bad News Bear. I knew I was going to do that. I literally stumbled last time and I caught myself. Bad News Brown. I knew I was going to do that. Bad News Bear, come on. Bad News Brown and Roddy Piper, they had a match at WrestleMania 6 that stemmed from this match right here. And of course that one ended a double count out. I don't think they ever did get that one settled at all. And then I think the last big high profile one was Dusty Rhodes and Macho King. They had a big tag team intergender match. They had a big confrontation on the Burr Love show with Dusty Rhodes and Sapphire on one side and Scary Sherri and Macho King on the other. So they would eventually go on, and I believe Dusty and Sapphire won that. So yeah. And then this is actually would also be the last time WWF would ever see Tony Schiavone again. So, which not really a big loss. I have nothing against Schiavone, but I don't know. Monsoon would come back, and that was better. That was for the best. So yeah. All right, so let's get to my actual review. I love it. Like I said, it's no surprise. I kind of opened with that, but it's one of my favorite Rumbles. Period. Like it just is. Like I said, to me, these are the Rumbles. I don't care about these Rumbles. And like the Rumbles don't really mean shit now. Like I don't know. I know like now it's all about the road to WrestleMania and the winner goes on. Hey, halftime that shit don't matter because even when you win the Rumble, you usually end up losing your shot at like No Way Out or whatever the new, was it Roadblock or Fastlane or whatever the fuck it is now. You lose it before you even get there. So it's just like, I don't know. I just don't, I can't get into it anymore. And not just that, it seems like the Rumble is more, or used more for like, let's just get some prize entrance in there. Like that's all it's about. Like literally, you know who's going to win from the very beginning. They usually pick out the winner right off the bat. And then we throw a bunch of like, we'll bring a bunch of old geezers back and throw them in there. Just a shot. That's all it is, just to try to get a pop out of the crowd. And they don't even last long. Like I watched, what was it? 2014 when Diesel came back. It was Kevin Nash as Diesel came back, and of course the crowd gets a good, pretty decent reaction. Even I'm like, all right, it's kind of cool, but it's like he's old. He goes in there, it doesn't last long, gets dumped out pretty quickly. I'm just like, or they do the thing where like the announcer jumps in there, like JBL did it that year. It's like he did it, and he literally goes in there and he's like, I'm gonna take my jacket off, gets dumped out. It's like good. So yeah, I don't know, but to me, like these are the classics right here. I love these Rumbles right here. So yeah, absolutely love it. We get to see Hogan and Warrior stare down, which is probably one of the best moments, probably the best Rumble moment, or one of the best. I won't say the best because there's so many more, but it was still one of the best. If I'm doing like an anthology or top 10 countdown of best Rumble moments, that's definitely gonna be on the list because I don't know, there's something about that just epic. Freaking awesome. I love the roster that's involved in the Rumble in this one. So like I said, everything about this one is just great. DiBiase putting on the Iron Man performance in this one, going like 44 minutes or something like that, which is insane. Back when it actually meant something. Yeah, so like I said, it's a really good one. If you haven't watched it, definitely check it out. So, alright guys, that's all I got. Tune in tomorrow night. We're heading back to the NWA, and we're doing Wrestle War 1990. Yeah. So, yeah. That's all I got, guys. Thank you for watching. Till next time.